This is the MTpredictor weekly market update for June 28th. I want to go through, this is the daily chart of the Dow, and just eliminate the right hand side of the chart. I want to show you a couple of things here. First of all, we had the TS3 buy set up. This was a standard trade setup that the software generates on its own in real time. This blue buyer's candle here, this second candle, this first one was a gray candle. We don't trade off of those, but the blue one is indicating that buyers are overcoming sellers. So if I just right click and I choose analysis from the drop down here, you can see the software gives us the setup, the entry, the stop, the target. The reward would be 4 times greater than the initial risk if you were able to take this particular trade. But here I just want to point out is the next Fibonacci cluster of resistance. Now also, if we look at, here's the last swing high. This would also be the weekly swing high. If I right click and I take a manual decision point off of that level, we can see we have a confluence of resistance at this level. In other words, we expect if the market reaches this level, price will turn and become move in the downward direction here. So as you can see, as price did move higher here, now the sell signal here, it did initiate a corrective move here, but you see that the indicator is blue. That means that the larger degree trend is up. So you'd avoid the sell signals and you'd stick with the long trade here as the trend is up. Now we've reached this level of resistance here, and again, this is where we're anticipating the market to turn. You've got a red seller's candle here that is breached to the downside. That indicates, that red seller's candle indicates that sellers are now overcoming buyers in the resistance area, and we anticipate the market to move lower. Let me take this analysis off here. Right, we can take a decision point. This is the last swing into the high, and so we anticipate this will act as some support. Now we haven't reached that level yet. We've rallied here. This was options expiration, where the week into options expiration, where 70% of the time the market does rise into options expiration. Once that was completed, we began to sell off here. Don't know what's going to happen now with the news out of Greece here. If we get some maybe a gap down or something, but maybe some selling comes in. We'll see if we can get down to this level, depending on how much follow through we get. This would be the next support at the moment on the daily chart. Next resistance, if I just take a right click here and decision point off of this level, so just above 18,100, your next daily resistance level here. So I expect maybe we'll get down to this level if the Greece news really impacts the market, but otherwise, see this, it's kind of forming this kind of channel here. We're probably going to stay inside that channel for a while until the market kind of sorts things out. If you want to take a look at the S&P, let's just pull up that contract here. Okay, so same basic thing. Here was the high here. We ran into resistance here where we anticipate the correction, right, in and around the wave 2 or B level. So an initial move down could be a wave 1 or wave 2, or this could be A or B, and maybe we're just going down to wave C. But again, I'll project the decision point support here and the next resistance level here. All right, the other thing that we realized when the markets were making these new highs, if we look at the let's see if we can pull up the transports. Okay, the Dow transports, when the markets were making the new highs, and here the Dow transports failed to make a new high. So this long signal here, basically that target was the top. When the markets were making new highs, the Dow transportation average, which should lead the markets, it's more sensitive to the upside, to the downside. Well, of course it did roll over there, didn't make the new high, didn't confirm, and in fact formed a pattern here, a sell signal here, which was a wave 4 heading into the wave 5. And you see we went down to the maximum wave 5 target here. All right, so we kind of had a heads up that this sell-off may have some legs to the downside because the transportation average did not confirm the new highs. Let's see if they'll allow us to pull up the VIX. Don't know that they'll allow us to pull up the VIX. Nope. Well, so let's look at, let's go to oil, the August contract here, and we looked at this sell signal. So we anticipated on the daily chart the trend has gone neutral, and we had the big move down, obviously, right? The breakout of the weekly channel, the big move down there. The DP caught the initial low there, the rally, and now we have this TS3. This is just a standard trade setup. In other words, the software generated it without doing any other analysis. The trend is neutral or flat. Larger degree trend is flat or neutral, and that's why we're seeing this kind of action. So after a big move, you expect consolidation. That's kind of what we're getting here. But you can see oil did gap down. We do have price reaching the 100% initial risk line, so stops can be moved to break even there. For a risk-free trade, the target here at 57.05 on that. And obviously those that own the software, get the signals in real time on their charts. All right, let's take a peek at gold. And let's see, I'm going to use the continuous contract here. This is the daily chart. You see the daily short signal that was initiated here. The red seller's candle. Do the analysis here. Here's your target down at 1160.50. Again, we're beyond the 100% initial risk line, so stops can be to break even on the daily charts here. Now, if we go to the weekly chart, again the picture for gold is still bearish here. If we take this significant low, let's take a decision point off of this low, and you see this is the support that we've come into, and buyers have stepped in each time. Buyers stepped in again here. Now the rally didn't go as far as you see. Each of these swing highs, each successive swing high is lower than the previous. Again, bearish, but they haven't been able to take out the support yet. So far this is held as support. We'll see if we retest the level here again and what happens. So they've tested it a couple of times. If gold does break the level, we've got room to move down to the downside for sure. But if it holds, what we're going to have to see is if we can eventually get a rally that's going to break at least this prior swing high. We'll run into weekly resistance just above here. Alright, so if we can at least reach this level, and that would begin to at least change the picture a bit, and then if we could start seeing higher lows and higher highs, of course, that may become bullish and maybe a bottom is in, but that's not the case yet. We're on a short signal on the daily, and maybe we're going to retest the weekly support here. And let's just check the dollar index and we'll wrap it up. The DX on this is the weekly chart here. So the weekly chart, if we ask the software where are we in the trend, what is the pattern, if there is a good clear pattern, and you see we've got a 1, 2, the big wave 3, and a move not yet into wave 4, though the wave 4 could be in on the blue buyer's candle here. We'll see. But what we're looking on the daily chart, in fact, let me go to the monthly chart and put this decision point so you can see that this is why the rally stopped here, because we ran into this monthly decision point resistance. Right here, the initial sell-off, the first ABC correction, that's where Elliott said it's the best time to be a seller. Right, we went down to the initial target here, which was 5 times greater than your initial risk. Right, but what I'm looking at is, because this is a significant high back here into the monthly, right, we could look for a potential wave 3 down. So in other words, this could be a wave 1. This ABC is in wave 2, and maybe looking for the wave 3 target eventually. Right, we'll see. This is going to depend a lot on what's going to happen with interest rates and all these things. Greece, if the dollar becomes that safe haven asset again, or it's looked at as that safe haven asset, that could turn the picture. But it may just be to retest the level here, which would be a weekly wave 5, before things maybe roll over again. So we'll see. Anyway, that's it for the update.